So, part 4 of analyzing my own painting. So what have I not talked about yet? Oh yeah, the crane. I'll just roll the crane to bubbles in one. It's not that big of a deal. So the bubbles actually came up. The bubbles were actually in my first sketch, or at least my first concept sketch. I like my paintings to be busy, and the bubbles kind of added to that. And most of the bubbles and the cranes helped to set the mood that I wanted. The mood that I really, really wanted the painting to be was one that was very dreamy. One that was very dreamy, very happy, I guess. And something that reality is not. Happy, dreamy, carefree, childlike, really a blast from the past. Old memories, being a kid again. That was what I wanted for the bubbles and the cranes. But sadly, as you know, just as easily as bubbles pop, your dreams pop just as easily. Kind of pessimistic of me, but it's true. Oh, the cranes stem off of my, well, I wouldn't say obsession, but the crane has always been a big symbol in my own artwork. Back in Art 1, when I first did a study of cranes, to last spring break when I made the 400 some cranes that I have. Cranes have always been a big deal with me. I love making cranes. They're simple to make. They're common to make. Whenever I'm bored in class, I either doodle or I take out my stack of origami paper and start making cranes like crazy. Paper cranes, symbology-wise, they represent happiness, longevity, blissfulness, and also wishes. Um, in the Japanese culture, a well-known legend, Senparu, which means 1,000 cranes. If you pull 1,000 cranes, legend has it that your wish will come true. And I'm on my way, of course. I'm like 400, so still got 60% more to make. But cranes represent wishes and well-being. Generally, you give cranes to people in hospitals, wishing that they would get well soon. So, put cranes on there because I just really like cranes. And I have the cranes, why they're behaving like real birds and not like, well, something that's paper made, was because I took the idea of cranes and the idea of birds and just mashed them together, like Dali did with the whole clock and cheese thing. I decided that, you know what, cranes are birds as well, and people just look at cranes and oh yeah, that's nice, it's a crane. But they don't even realize the beauty in cranes, like the sharp edges and the whole form of cranes and how you can manipulate cranes. Like all these are um, actually like real. I took my crane and twisted the paper and manipulated it at different angles to make them all look like what you see here. It's actually possible, and I have studies to prove it. But cranes, I feel like, don't get as much attention as they deserve, and real birds are overrated anyway, simply because, first of all, well, while they do sing quite nicely sometimes, it's annoying in the morning to get awakened by annoying birds, and baby chicks never shut up. And birds have a bad habit of whooping everywhere, and if you're mean to them, they attack you back. Well, that kind of sucks. So I don't think paper cranes do that. So they're an ideal, a perfection version of what birds should be like. At least that's what I think so, anyways. Plus, I mean, if you have cranes, you don't have to feed it, you don't have to water it, they won't die on you. It's not like they were alive to begin with. But, yeah, so that's how my cranes came to be as real birds. The cranes actually added a lot to the atmosphere of the painting. I really love the cranes. And I like the bubbles too. I had fun painting the bubbles. So those two added added a lot of the atmosphere that I wanted in this painting, which generally, as a whole, expresses a great desire to be happy.